You're such an asshole.
All right. Day's not even halfway over. Dear Cappy, I often hear you refer to the male sex drive as one of the most powerful forces on Earth, second only to nuclear power. However, I'm honestly starting to believe that women in some ways greatly rival that. It definitely seems like when women are given freedom and authority, but no responsibility, it inevitably leads to ruin and death. A good example of this is abortion. Ever since abortion was allowed, 60 million unborn children have been killed. That's in the U.S. That is 10 times more people that died in the Holocaust and 3 times what died in World War I. That was the statistics a few years ago, and I imagine it's much higher now in the United States alone. I imagine taking every Western country into account, the death toll would be much higher than World War I and World War II combined. Oh, well, no doubt. But it's not a fair comparison. And the fact that war, they're trying to stay alive. And then with abortion, it's legal. And just so you all know, I'm pro-choice. You're taking a very one-way view of abortion where, yeah, it's a despicable act and it shouldn't get to that point. You're a bad person if you got to the point where you're debatably ending a human life. But I mean, push comes to shove, the kid is better off not being. Like, think of it. Would you want your mom to be someone that would abort you? And usually they're sparing these kids a horrible existence. Usually, I mean, it's not a happy topic, but that's how I view it in my impassionate kind of view. But I wouldn't call it necessarily, the equivalent to murder. Some cases, yeah, I guess. Mommy got a party. But and you're going to see as we go on, I'm going to remove that from the analysis because I wouldn't say that's outright evil. Some cases, yes. Other cases, no. And I ask, why not get on the birth control and why not get tubular ligation? You don't understand. I don't care. I really don't care. Then you look at what happened ever since women were given the right to vote. There's been a constant downward spiral of degradation. I know that men also sharing some of this blame. But as you have stated many times, women voted for how the current generation of men are, and men delivered. And vote is one thing. Certainly, women voted for a welfare state. So did some men. Let's be very fair and clear and accurate. And when you put life on easy mode, you give people free money, they're going to take it, male or female, doesn't matter. And yes, one of the things is that women got the soft, pathetic excuses for men that most Democrat men are. There's some Republican, libertarian, or simply not Democrat men that are soy boys, millennials sitting at home crying. But yeah, they got them. How the generation of men are. All the evidence is pointing out, this will lead to an inevitable collapse. It is my opinion that when feminism has run its course, more people will have died than in all the wars of the past 500 years combined. It is also making me wonder if women have played a role in the destruction of past civilizations like ancient Greek and Romans. Would like a video response. That would be a good question for historians. I don't know. But and I gotta cast somewhat of a wider net here because you're taking on several topics. But the question is, am I being too harsh on women? So let's go through some more facts, or trying to be as accurate as we can, so the thesis is not inaccurate. It is my opinion that when feminism has run its course, more people have died than in all the wars in the past 500 years combined. All right. That I'm going to agree with, but more for the fact that there's more people. The human population is exponentially increased than the past 500 years combined. So there's more people to die. And feminism, which is not the equal treatment of men and women, that is not, as we're going to get to down the road. That is long. That's like a 3 generations ago definition of feminism. I think what you mean is it's more practical implementation, it's real world implementation, which is just communism with tits. That's it. Free shit for me, cause tits. That's it. That's all it is. I'm not even being slightly facetious when I say that. All the isms is just give me more. It's just communism. Give me free shit. The because might be a slightly different color or variant of Marxism, but that's all it is. And whenever you implement Marxism, whether that might be feminist or racial or class, which used to be the way, the good old days when communism was instituted through class. Basically, no one works because you're not paid to work. You don't get to keep private property. People work a fraction of what they got to do or would otherwise, just enough to stay out of the gulags. And the reason more people will die because communism helped through a vector of feminism, among other things. Don't forget rank laziness, It's not just women pushing for feminism or for communism via their through a colored lens of feminism. There's plenty of soy boys out there who play their acoustic guitars. Hey man, I need like a student loan bailout. But it will be communism that was pushed by feminism. It had a tailwind with feminism that brought about, frankly, the not production of food. And yeah, you'll kill more. You'll kill way more people through starvation. Of which feminism will have had a hand in, not the sole cause of. If you want to talk about, say, a civilization or economic collapse, which would not necessarily be death, that would just be not as many people being born in an economic collapse, brought about not having enough people being born to pay for the welfare state, then feminism would have a larger role because it really is just a hatred movement and a supremacy movement. It just hates men. It also hates the family, and it elevates women to a supreme position or superior position, and consequently, it just destroys family formation. That wouldn't matter if we didn't have a welfare state that was a Ponzi scheme that depended on future generations to pay for it. It'd just be, oh, the population shrinks, I guess. I guess there's young people, the next generation get a big inheritance. I guess there's less traffic on the road. I guess I inherit my parents' cars or their classic cars or whatever. There's nothing wrong with the shrinking population. But when you have the future generations paying for the current expenses of the government, social programs or not, that's a problem. And that would lead to pretty much every Western civilization and second world. I mean, show me a government without debt, without a welfare program that doesn't rely on its young people to pay for the old people. So feminism would disproportionately have an effect on a collapsing economy and society because they just are anti-child. I'm sure there's some, you can have children as I know, but you're just very anti-family, very anti-male, and just men are, it's one thing, women don't need no man. Okay, we got it. But man, the men are definitely like, no, we don't need you either. So yeah, it's, feminism is not a loving ideology or religion. It's a religion of hate and envy. It's not a loving, like, oh, I can't wait to find a guy and, oh, love him and put him at the center of my life and he'll do the same. Like, there's no selflessness in feminism. It's very selfish, lonely, egotistical. And that doesn't create fertile soil for families to grow in. I mean, even look at the kid. Well, I mean, in here, previous to what you're saying, this is where your mention of abortion came in. They'll kill their own kids or end the fetus. They will prevent having their own kids for reasons that vary, so which I agree with. But let's say the kid makes it past the goalpost. It was already obvious the women would prefer, they're going to put their lifestyle ahead of their child's even life. Although there might be an obscure loving, like, I love my child, I'm not ready to have one. It was a mistake. Okay. But let's say a feminist has a child. Most of them aren't going to raise it. They can't wait to ship that out to daycare. And so that I would say is feminism is the majority reason, certainly the pluralistic reason for society collapsing or Western civilizations collapsing. So there's that, but not necessarily the economy. Now, then you say, okay, am I being too harsh on women? And here, now you're bringing in fault. No, you're bringing in fault. And you're kind of addressing it early on. Believe that women in some ways greatly rival the power of men. It definitely seems like when women are given freedom and authority, inevitably leads to ruin and death. A good example of this is abortion. But let's just stop it there. It definitely seems like when women are given freedom and authority, it inevitably leads to ruin and death. Well, let's go and look at that and let's find out why is that? Why? And I would generally agree with you, but why? Why is it if you're going to give girls the reign and they get complete freedom and authority, which I'm all for freedom and authority, but you didn't mention the R word, responsibility. And so I had to take some notes on this because this isn't exactly a light topic, but it's the classic Bill Burr quote. Women are surrounded with this tornado of misinformation, and they're going to save the planet, and they know everything, and nobody corrects them because we want to fuck them. And so if you had given women true equality, which is why I make my girlfriend occasionally do a tune-up or change the oil, which is why I'm like, no, you're going to have a job and you're going to work. You have to, not should, you have to give them full equality, which not only is the rights, but is the responsibilities. And what ends up happening is because you guys want to fuck them, or there's a holdover of tradition, you want to be nice, and people think I'm a stick girl. I'm like, you never help a woman with her computer. You never help a woman with her carpentry. You don't help her repair her Toyota. Not unless she's your wife or your significant other or your mom, you help out your mom. No, you do that. I don't have enough time with the tax rates you're voting in to have the welfare state. But men want to get laid. And then also there's probably a traditional holdover, like, yeah, I really ought to help the damsel in distress type of thing without a sexual motivation or anything like that. No, no, because what you're doing is that's the tornado of misinformation, which though tornado misinformation, what it really is you are shielding them from the full cost, consequences, and responsibilities of the real world. So if I'm on the side of the road or something like that, I'm like, hey, can you come over? I have a female friend. She doesn't know how to change her lights on the garage door opener. I'm like, are you kidding me? Go up there and do it. Well, I'll pay you. Okay, fine. I mean, you're going to make me food. Fine. I'll come over there and change your lights. But if I asked you to come, hey, okay, yeah, get the fuck out of here, Clary. Do it yourself. Think about how you treat your fellow friend, your fellow man, even maybe friend or not, but your fellow man. Like, I don't know how to fix my computer. And maybe if you're a computer expert and he's like an accountant and he's going to help you out with the okay, you might barter. But you guys come running to the rescue of these girls and you don't let them bear the I talked to a buddy of mine, great mechanic, outstanding IT guy, average carpenter. Said, how many hours have you spent fixing girls' shit? He's like, oh, thousands of hours. I'm like, thousands? Like 10,000. He never got anything out of it. He got a couple girlfriends that were ungrateful, pain in the ass, and still ditzy, single mom being one of them. He still had to pay for everything. No. You don't continue on the old preferential treatment, defend and protect. No, if you want equality, and especially if they're voting for higher taxes, you give it to them. You don't bail them out. You don't defend them from the real world. You don't put life on easy mode for them. And it's not because you dislike women or something like that, but it's like, no, if you want to have a say at the table, you need to know how the real world works and what it takes to survive, what it takes to get by. Not this artificial life on easy mode that you got it like Canadians do. You don't put a Canadian in charge of anything. They don't know anything. Well, when is Trudeau going to give us the free shit? And I'm not saying American women are near as bad as your average Canadian, but they're darn close. I need affirmative action. I need a student loan bailout. I want a major, like, look at how untethered and to their own destruction women are in majoring in what they want and not what they need to. Majoring in the dumbest crap that has no hopes whatsoever of paying back the student loans they're going to incur. And the solution isn't to be critical. Lord, have I not for over a decade now tried to warn both men and women about bad degrees? Have we not actually tried to help them? Like, hey, you can't do that. If you want to close the wage gap, you got to go major in engineering. We don't say that because we don't like women. We say it because we actually do like women and want them to do as well as men, perhaps even better. Maybe you pay some taxes every once in a while. If young women had listened to what I said and some young men 10 years ago, they wouldn't be in a financial crisis. They would be better off. But for every one of me out there, there's some simp, there's some Democrat, and there's some corporation that wants them in debt, all because they get some kind of value out of it. The simp thinks he's going to get laid. The Democrats get a vote. All right. And corporations, they love debt-ridden people. They love debt-ridden college graduates because then you work cheaper, you're more desperate, you're more loyal, and they could screw you over. And they definitely, by the way, corporations definitely want you girls making your own money. They want you in debt. So you borrow the money from the banks, and then the banks like it because you owe them. Then you take the money, you buy stuff from the corporations. And then now you're in the labor force too, which admittedly women do produce their own GDP. So it's not a one-to-one, but you do flood the labor market, with labor. And that has a downward pressure on late wages. So they can pay everybody less, men included. But my whole point is that for every person out there that's actually trying to help women by telling them the truth, that actually says, no, look, you want another example? All right. For every guy out there that says being fat is gross, being fat will not help you find your man. How many hundreds of women, their own kind, stabbing him in the back, saying, no, you go, girl. He's just shallow. Meanwhile, what are we coming up on? The third generation of women that never found a true love? Because Lisa, that's her favorite. That's the biggest song that's coming out. And so there is tremendous profit and tremendous advantage to keep lying to women. Perceived and real. I would say the men who keep lying to women, like, oh, you're brave and amazing. Oh my God, you're beautiful. Those are simps and they never get laid. But it doesn't mean that these men won't bail them out, either giving what? What do you think the super chats are? Not the super chats. OnlyFans. That's simps bailing out women. That's all it is. What do you think? You're going to go help the girl with her homework. You don't help a girl with her homework. And let's be honest, you're not helping her out with her homework. It's like, yeah, she really needs it. I think she just needs to get over it. She doesn't really understand how derivatives work. I'll help her out. She's a friend. No, you want to get laid. That's what it is. And so it's Captain Save-A-Ho. It's a white knight. You guys come in there and you're like the cushion between the rubber and the road. You never let the women tires hit the road. You never let it hit. You always provide a little cushion. And you spoil people and prevent them from consequences of the real world. They never mature. They never fully grow up. It's like having a spoiled kid. Happens to men too. I'm not saying it's all women. But because women got pussy, men want pussy. Men will do and man, do you guys just, what is it? Glide the skids or skid the glides or oil the skids, oil the glides. And it's not women's fault. It isn't. Many times people in the past have pointed out, look, if the whole world just bowed down and said, oh my God, we can't wait to suck your dick, and you're brave and amazing because you're a man. Switch it. How ridiculously stupid does that sound? Oh, you're brave and amazing creature, man. Men in corporate executive, men in this. Okay. Oh, we have a strong, independent man lead. Oh my God. Men, we have a men conference and men. And oh my God, look, here's an advertisement. It's a man having some skinny fat soy boy or maybe some fat middle-aged guy with the gut drinking his beer. They're celebrating him as sexy, big as beautiful. Do you see how far society has gone to indulge and ultimately profit and take advantage of women? If you had that much dirt blown up your ass, you might actually start to believe it too. And why wouldn't you take advantage of what? I get discounted college. I get first dibs on government contracts. I get preferential hiring and promotional treatment. If I don't like somebody in the department because they looked at me funny, I can claim that in this case, in Bizarro World, that girl sexually harassed me. You think you wouldn't take it? And then what kind of person would you be? What kind of person would you be not playing life on real mode, playing life on easy mode? How much muscles do you gain if you go to the gym and everybody helps you lift the weights and you don't bear the full weight? Well, you don't grow big muscles. You don't evolve and become into like a stronger man, a more intelligent person, a harder worker, a more clever, street smart, a more moral individual. You almost remain a child. But that's more of a product of the environment, not that. And then if you got one sex that just wants nothing more in the world than to have sex with you, and they'll come up with all the lies and the bullshit. Yeah. 3, 5, 10 generations of that, you might be a little disconnected from the real world. And then when it comes to important things like power generation, agriculture, transportation, now we introduce ourselves. Tell me if this sounds familiar, ladies. You can't afford a house. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be we have a bunch of diversity and inclusion and HR majors and MBA dude bros and not enough tradesmen? And no one points it out. No one points out the emperor has no clothes and that the bridge is out. This isn't the emperor has no clothes. So what? The emperor gets a little embarrassed. There's no problem with the rest of the kingdom in the village. If we're all on a train and the bridge is out, say, hey, the bridge is out. Hey, ladies. None of you going to get that because none of you know what good music is anymore. Bum 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 bum. Never mind. You guys all like Lizzo. And so we have now created, and the United States is a unique environment. We got the world's reserve currency. We import all of our real production from foreign countries, so that complicates the matter. But when you have, if women were men, let's just say, I'm trying to think if we could change it somewhat differently. They weren't women. We weren't sexually attracted to them. They were just a group of guys. You know what? Here, I got it. Let's say, for whatever reason throughout U.S. history, alternative history, only people east of the Mississippi could vote. All right? It didn't matter. Skin color, gender, nothing else. And it was all guys. Okay? There are no women in this fictional world. And then through the Western voting liberation movement or whatever, we agreed in the past at some point in time, the Easterners says, hey, yeah, you know what? This is unfair. That's part of the United States over on the west side of the Mississippi too. We should let the Western men vote as well. Would there be any problem? No. Why? Because the Eastern men don't want to have sex with the Western men. And the Western men, because the Eastern men don't want to have sex with them, don't get preferential treatment, don't get life put on easy mode, don't get constantly bailed out and shielded, and every possible favor given to them. The Western men have to face the real world just like the Eastern men. And because they are in the real world, when they vote, it's going to be, well, we tried that socialism thing. It didn't work out. Remember all the food that we need an irrigation system. I mean, I'm going to give you a perfect example. Lake Mead is down. And many, not just Vegas, but many towns, a lot of the Southwest depends on Lake Mead and other reservoirs. There was a proposal to have a desalinization plant built in California. Yeah, like that was going to happen. So there are literally millions of people depending upon getting water into the interior, into the desert part of the country. We have the technology to do it. It be possible. They voted it down unanimously, the Environmental Board of California, right? And there's environmentalism and all that, but they interviewed one gal who's like, oh, she's a protester. Now here, guess what? She's a protester. Guess what? She wanted to protect the plankton that would die because you're reintroducing salt into the salty ocean. I'm just thinking like, well, maybe the plankton wouldn't swim. Like when things get too smoky, I don't go further into the smoke. I turn around and leave. There's a woman who's had life on easy mode. She has had her ass pampered the entire time that she can actually start believing like, I want to save the plankton. Because she's removed from the real world. Because invariably someone wanted to fuck her. Whether it was a guy and sexually wanted to fuck her, the Democrats didn't want to fuck her for the vote, or corporations. Or you could even argue there's like a fourth group of people that want to fuck women, and that's like the ideologues or the political types. They want to get their vote. I guess that falls under the Democrats, though. That wouldn't happen in the West versus East all-male America. The guys in the West be like, dang, we need more water here. Let's build a desalinization plant. Done. Based in the real world. But because of desperate sex drive, not desperate, disparate sex drive, different sex drives, men and other entities who have a financial or political motive continue to lie to women. And you lie to women by telling them what they want to hear. Women start believing this bullshit world that they were lied to and brought up under. And then when they vote, they vote wrong. All right. I'm not saying Democrat, but they just vote wrong. They vote wrong, meaning what they're voting for is not going to work in the real world, or it's not going to solve the problem or the issues that need to be solved in the real world. And that'd be okay because we'd stand a fighting chance at 50-50. But guess what? The power of pussy is so powerful, half the guys are going to vote for it too. Some of these guys actually believe the Democrat, and let's not discount human laziness, which runs across both sexes. There's some men who just don't want to work. All right, the number of boys, oh my God, I have the autism, the Asperger's, and this and that. It's like, no, you don't. Oh, no, I totally got it. Give me some disability check. Oh, no, I can't work. I have social anxiety. So you already got an uphill battle, right? First, women, because men want to get laid by them, are going to shield them from the rule. They're going to skew into la-la land with their voting. Some men, because they think it's going to curry favor with them, are going to vote Democrat or leftist in general, because generally women are like, free shit, okay. I don't have to raise my children, and I get an education, and I can major in anything, and it doesn't matter because you'll create me a job. All right. Go look at like Ocasio-Cortez. Don't tell me her titties don't defend her from the real world. Don't tell me she's ever actually, I know she worked 6 months as a bartender. Oh, real anchoring in the real world there. All right, so that voting block is gone. You got the men who want to play supplicant little beta. Yeah, I'm a good Democrat. I'm a good, the mattress carrier with Emma Sulkowitz. They'll vote Democrat. There's the natural lazy component of men who vote Democrat because they don't want to work. And I should really say leftist or utopian. I guess it would be more accurate is utopian, because the Democrat is only one party. Leftist is a general socialist parasitic movement where they don't work, but not working is utopian. That's not reality-based, utopian. Oh, and then what other groups of men? The rest of you that actually believe, however, the leftist parties, oh my God, you're that color skin or this color eyebrow or that type of, oh, maybe. Oh, there's another one. White guys can get in on this too. Oh my goodness. Well, I do believe I'm coming down with a case of the not straight white male. Like, I'm not bad for the other team, especially you give me some scholarships and preferential hiring treatments. Well, I do declare I do like sucking the dick. As long as I get a student aid and preferential hiring treatments according to the women's what they voted for. So there's that. And then there's a distinct minority of men and some women who are like, are you kidding me? The dam's about to go. We got to fix the dam. We can't create a government program for drag queen story time. We need to fix the dam. The whole place, the valley's going to flood. There'll be deaths. Why do you hate drag people? They're going to die in the flood too. And now you get to the bizarre world. Now, here in the United States, two things kind of keep us alive: the world's reserve currency and our technological advancement. We keep, I'm just like, Peter Schiff has got to be like, when the hell is this thing going to collapse? It just keeps going on. They keep getting lucky and lucky. My favorite was when the housing crisis happened, 100% caused by us, the United States. And it spread globally because foreign countries bought our mortgage-backed securities. We were the cause of the problem. Do you know what the rest of the world did as a defensive maneuver for the global crisis or global recession that was coming? They bought US dollars. Don't tell me we don't have it on easy mode and ain't roiding it up here economically. Don't tell us no. We are so lucky. This keeps going on. And then when the disease hit, what did we do? We printed off more money. What did everyone else did? They printed off 3% more than we did. So I guess we're still the big dick in town. And I'm just amazed, like, how it just keeps going on and on. Like, we could print off more money and indulge what is not exclusively a feminist or female view of the world. Because obviously there are men that participate in this utopian leftist parasitic delusion. But it keeps them indulged. And I don't think women... Look, when you were a little snot-nosed kid, you just wanted to eat candy, play games, and you didn't want to work. That's everybody. And it's up to your parents, the adults in the real world, to say, no, you got to work, you got to do that. But if parents don't come in and don't discipline you and tell you how the real world works, well, is that the kid's fault or is it your fault? And that's anybody. You got a buddy who's out of line. No one checks him and say, hey, buddy, you're out of line. Knock it off. He ain't going to change his behavior. And so there's a little bit of responsibility on the part of everyone else in society. And when it comes to women, honestly, I don't, are we too hard on women? It's not that we're too hard. And I think in some cases, yeah, we kind of are too hard because it isn't necessarily the damn fault. They've had nothing but lies and bullshit shoved up their ass the entire. They actually think big is beautiful. I don't know if that's necessarily all their fault. But what it is, it's not, are we too hard on women? Are we too light on women? We don't treat them as equals. We don't hold them to standards. We give them preferential treatment. Why? Because men want to fuck them. Democrats want their votes, and corporations want their labor and their revenue, and banks want to be in debt or interest rates. And if I was told you ever see a rich kid whose parents didn't discipline him? If I was a spoiled snot-nosed rich, have you ever met people from Winnetka or Edina? They're assholes, male or female. Why? Because mom and dad just thought they were the greatest thing ever because that's our genetic material. Have you seen Mark Dayton? Have you seen the former governor of Minnesota? The guy's as smart as a rock. Isn't his fault his parents started Target Corporation in Dayton's. He had so much money shoved up his ass. He's a dopey drug addict. Not heroin, pot, alcohol. Listen, I think like antidepressants, some other bullshit. Rumor has it. Not confirmed. That's what happens when you have life on easy mode. And so it's up to you guys. This is, do you remember in Cappy history how even some of you guys were a little appalled that I charged my girlfriend rent? And I'm like, excuse me, I busted my ass off to pay for this house. She could pay for the fucking rent. I make her buy her own cars. I treat her like an equal. You know why? Because I don't want some bonbon horking down 300-pound pig as my girlfriend when she's 55, thinking like, why aren't you buying my stuff? Who you got, Han Solo? I hold them up to standards. I treat them like adults, and I insist they act like adults. And maybe I don't want to be too ideological or too strict or too. I'm not like if I were to go dating again, like I don't recommend going and taking a girl out to dinner. Coffee, sure. Maybe drinks, no, not dinner. You pay for your own damn dinner. You don't call him man. You don't call me man. You call him sir. You call me sir. No one's gonna know where that one's from either. Because if you keep putting life on easy mode, they're never gonna grow up. You keep shielding them from the real world, they're not gonna know the real problem. What's the biggest problem in girls' mind? What, the environment? Paying off the student loan for their chicken bunny degree? What is the my problems? I gotta get property overseas because my country might go full tyranny and dictatorial communist. I gotta make sure the house doesn't flood. I gotta make sure my cars are working. I gotta make sure the internet's. I gotta make sure that your average 23-year-old guy, oh my goodness, I live at home. I'm like, nah. And here you guys are because she's hot. Yeah, you're smart and intelligent. That's very interesting. Have you ever? Now I'm guilty of this. But I was younger. Did you not only tolerate a boring woman's conversation because she was hot and you want to have sex with her, but you actually lied to her? Say, oh yeah, you're really smart. Have it? Guilty as charged. Stop that. Stop it. I know for some of you, the pussy is just too good. You're just too addicted. Even a lot of you never had it. Oh my God. And you'd point to me, look at that bad man over there. I'm like, that guy is not treating you like an equal. I am. They're going to keep it up. Captain Save-A-Ho is going to be. There's going to be an army of simps that's going to keep this artificial thing going on. And then because women have a voting power and a disproportionate percentage of them are going to keep voting for this unsustainable, unachievable utopia, there will come a time, the dollar is not the world's reserve currency. There's not enough actual skilled tradesmen to keep the electricity up. They're probably going to do something stupid like agrarian reform. Communists always do that. You people who grow the food, you don't know anything. Give it to us. Ocasio-Cortez has a college degree. She knows what to do. And that's where, because we have too many people not living in the real world, not supporting themselves, not being where the rubber meets the road, some men included, that we're going to vote in just one welfare program too much, $1 of supporting parasites too far, and then it will collapse. And then we're not going to have electricity, and we're not going to have doctors. Might have doctors, but they don't have gas because they can't get to the hospital. Or electricity, because instead of building nuclear power, because we have electric cars, we didn't make enough. I mean, go look at California. And then people are going to die. It'll at first start with riots once the electricity goes out. There won't be enough housing because we don't have enough people building housing. I think the homeless might get pissed off and start rioting as well. General poor people might get pissed off and start rioting as well because there's not enough housing. But then there won't be enough electricity. That'll be bad in winter. There won't be enough heat. Won't be enough air conditioning in summer. People will riot. Won't be enough transportation. Won't be enough truck drivers. Won't be enough tradesmen. And then there won't be enough farmers because there won't be enough fertilizer because there wasn't enough electricity being generated for the fertilizer plant. There won't be enough water for anyone in the desert. But at least Becky and Shaniqua and Tiffany all got to save the plankton. They all got to get the student loan bailout. And we made some government work programs for all those girls with their liberal arts degrees. And you all told them that they were really smart because they had master's degrees. And you guys just kept on voting for that dumbass shit because you want to get laid. So I think in some ways we actually are too hard on women because we're not honest with them. Right? We should rightly mock, ridicule, disparage, and shame women for some of the dumbass shit they advocate, but it ain't like there aren't men advocating the same thing. So I don't know why would you just pick on women for that? And even though voting wise, yes, women, there's a lot, well, they voted for it. So the consequential economic collapse or the lack of housing, et cetera, women voted for it. Yes, they did. But I mean, I'm not much for faulting blame, but forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they do. Really, these girls don't know what they do because y'all just shoving a bunch of dirt up their chutes. I mean, again, if I had the whole world bowing down at me, I would think I was pretty bee's knees too. They're so delusional, they think they're oppressed. They think they're oppressed. That's how far gone they are. And if you even tell them something, even getting close to the truth and something that would actually help them, I mean, you know what happens? You're a misogynist. You hate women. Hey, you might want to lose some weight, not just for your health, but it might help you with your love life. Yeah, that's it. Okay, fine. This is old. This generation is old. And then when there is no electricity and there are no cops and there is no shelter and there is no gas, oh, we're all going to be facing the real world, and we ain't going to have the benefits of a first world economy and all the tools and technology to help us do it. And then then equality will come for us all. And women will know what the real world is like. And we're all going back to the 1800s. And it'll start the whole process all over again. So there you go, buddy. All right. Link below. God, what the hell did I think I linked to my Amazon affiliate link, my subscribe star channel, which you can subscribe for that for $2 a month. You get access to the Road Trip podcast. My courses, I think I linked to on Teachable. If you want to get your financial act together. And then, as always, you could buy books that are germane to this topic. There's the Book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI in the Pursuit of Women. Ladies, I recommend you please read that so you know what your competition is to find yourself a high-quality man. But in the book, you're saying I should get rid of my tattoos and lose weight and get rid of my debt. Why do you hate women? Just like, did you hear what you said? Get rid of your debt, lose weight, get rid of your tattoos. Those are all good things. You said I should stop mutilating my face by piercing it with metal shit. And then, I don't know, bachelor pad economics. You want to get your finances together, men and women? Here's the solution. Here's your financial solution. You guys ready for the financial solutions? Spend less than you make and work more. Christoph Anand, $10. Trotskyism is the proper description of this woke insanity. Intellectuals that have never met a worker they didn't hate. Stalin had a nut ice axed for a reason. Oh, had that nut ice axed for a reason. Was Trotsky the hoity-toity one? Was he the academic? Was he the theoretician? Wiz Division Productions, $5. No, laughing out loud. 99% of American womans are living life on tutorial mode. Men are living life on Dark Souls difficulty with one hand tied while blindfolded. I don't know if it's tutorial mode, but it is on easy mode. I'll defend that. And it's just shocking how many of you girls think you're oppressed in this country. You are not. You are heralded, you are celebrated, and you have your skids greased. What's the saying? Skids greased? Is that what it is? And nobody corrects you because they want to fuck you. SJ, $2 Canadian. Man needs to train getting off their hero complex. Man needs to train getting off their hero complex. Yeah, I guess. What the Simpson, the Save-A-Hose, Captain Save-A-Hose? It's not going away today. But by the way, you could show this video to everyone alive today in the United States. It ain't going to change anything. I'm just going to get called a bunch of names. The simping type of guys, they're going to call me a bigot or something like that. And he's a bad man. Don't worry, sweetheart, I'll save you. Boys are still going to spend money on girls on seeking arrangement. It's still going to happen. We're going to have preferential hiring treatment for women. It's just good. It's not going to change. Get used to it. Enjoy the decline. Keown, $2. Nope, we're too easy on women. Yeah, that's thank you. We're too easy, but when we hear as a community, we're way too easy on women. Yes. I think the client want to know, do we here red pill community, are we too hard on them? I think we're a right amount of pressure on them because we point out their bullshit. We tell them what to do to make it right. And that's it. If anything, I think some start to go into actual misogyny and are no longer constructively hard on women. Like your old man was hard on you because he wanted you to do better. Some people just like, no, we hate you, which is going to be a consequence of a privileged class. Christoph Anon, $5. Iceland through their bankers. Yes, through the bankers who brought mortgage securities in prison, allowed banks to fail. They recovered quickly. Yep. Panzer Runner, Indonesian rupees, 20,000. You're like Mr. Robot, but even more based. Mr. Robot. Is that the programmer guy? Yeah, Rami Malek. Portia Doubleday. Oh, she was in the James Bond, or not the James Bond movie. She was in the Mission Impossible. Carly Chankin. She's got that hateable redhead mouth. Oh, that mouth needs. Oh, yes. That mouth needs to have something put in it. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just being a normal guy now. I haven't watched Mr. Robot. I guess I got to watch it later. Sam Whiskey, $5. Most American name in America. Cappy, I'll treat them right when they pass the asparagus. It's so. Look, this nightmare ends once you actually treat women equally. Really? I mean, in every regard. No, you don't get preferential treatment. No, I'm not buying that for you. No, you're not. I have a hard enough time. You go get a job. You pay your own taxes. Sam Whiskey again for $5. Thanks to Karen purchasing an SUV, I can't find a cheap car with a manual transmission. Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started about women, what women have done to cars. Every possible freaking nagging to ding, 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 ding. Safety features. They're not safe. They're not safe. They just drive us nuts and we can't focus on driving. My truth, $2. Who hurt you, Aaron? Bob, $2. Why the U.S. treat college degrees like financing a car? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with college. Like employers should be, no, we don't need a college degree. I mean, I know they want something to tell whether or not you're smarter than the average guy, like you're the best candidate, but a college degree is the most inefficient way to go about doing it. I don't know why they don't just have training programs. 95% of the jobs out there that require a college degree, no, they don't actually require a college degree. You could have that job filled with about 2 weeks of training. Oh, President Cappy. There'd be a lot. I'd solve the housing crisis very quickly. I'd say, look at all those colleges with all those buildings that could be converted into apartments. Yeah, eminent domain. All the university properties, all of it, except for the medical school and the engineering school and the dentistry school. The rest of it, man, we could house a lot of young people in there. All right, there you go. Selling off those assets. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.